Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report. Part of the Evergreen Podcast Network, show number 373 for Thursday, April 3rd. It's Scott Hammer, Ryan Miller, coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch from the Dominator Race Products Studio. Tonight on the show, we're going to be speaking with the milkman, Ryan Sutter, with a Montpelier Speedway season preview, and then a little bit later on, Jason Flory is scheduled to join us. Again, yes. To talk about what's coming up at County Speedway this year. Also have our Oakshade trivia for some free passes to Oakshade Raceway. Good for one night. Grandstand passes. Any night you want. Plus how many, and a chance to win a Hammer Down Racing Report sticker courtesy of DCR Graphics as well. And
we're still looking for a pizza sponsor.
Yeah, that would mean that I'm actually going out looking. We're more accepting. We would be more than accepting and willing to accept a pizza.
Yeah, we're looking for one.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Hoping for one. How's that?
Sounds good. Well, before we get things started here, first off, we're going to do our Oakshade Raceway 50th anniversary trivia question for this week, which we're going to spin the wheel because we had answers. We had 6 people got the answer correct.
Ooh.
So the question was, how many drivers have won 5 or more track championships? And the bonus entry was if you could name them all. A few people got the names mostly right, but Jeff Folks' name was a little bit hard for people to spell right. So
F-O-K-S.
Yes, F-O-K-S, not F-O-L-K-S, like it sounds, which understood. But so no bonus. I know I was mean.
No bonus.
No bonus. I got to. I made the rule. I got to stick by it. Right.
Right.
You know, what kind of an inspector would I be if I let the rules slide? Right.
Pretty cool one if you take money.
Well, those were just for the bonus entries, though. So we did have a few people that got that right. 6 people, actually. It was kind of a tough one. An even tougher one for next week. Stay tuned to the end of the show, and we'll let you know what that one will be for next week. So it gives you a little bit more time to do some homework, because I think you will need to do some homework. I had no idea what the answer was. I had no idea what the question was till Ron sent it to me, and I was like, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's not toughie.
So here we go. Our eligible winners for this week are right there on your screen. We got, let's see, Matt Smith, Don Henry, Skylar Hovis, Shelly Siegert, Dave Gumby Jr., and Amber Hovis as well. So here we go. 5 minutes to type I win in the comments of our Facebook Live if you are Shelly Siegert. 7:04 is the time right now. You have until 7:09, Shelly Siegert. You must type I win in the comments of our Facebook Live to claim your pair of passes to Oakshade Raceway. Right here they are. See the little window there. So we'll keep an eye on the comments there. Maybe producer Dave will keep an eye on the comments for us as well. Moving on here, DCR Graphics is your source for high-quality wraps, stickers, die-cast banners, and more. If you're looking to upgrade your race team's look, DCR Graphics has you covered with full wraps starting at just $425 plus shipping. I want to showcase your car in miniature form? Get a box of 8 custom die-casts for only $130 plus shipping, available for late model sprints, modifieds. Basically, he'll make your car put that look right on one of those little die-casts. It's pretty cool looking. And now DCR has even more ways to show off your style. Check out their brand new lineup of crew shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, flags, and more. Hit up DCR Graphics on Facebook or call 419-308-9523 to place your order today. DCR Graphics, where speed meets style. And he still has that deal where if you want your name on the hood of his car, your name meaning your personal name, not your business name. Right. I guess some people were filling out the form and putting business names. He's like, hey, that's not what I want. If you want a business name on my car, you can pay for it as a sponsor. This is just a thing for the show. Listeners of the show, put your name on the car. So when you fill out the form, put your real name, not a business name. Otherwise, he's just going to delete it. And again, you can check out that form at hammerdownracingreport.com. I put a link to it there on the homepage, or you can find a link. It's one of the recent posts on our Facebook page as well. Freeze Frame Photo is your go-to for all your racing photo needs, whether it's heart-pounding action shots or those unforgettable victory lane moments. Freeze Frame Photos has you covered, but that's not all. They also offer a fantastic range of custom gifts to commemorate your favorite races, including print magnets, canned koozies, tumblers, wood plaques, custom slate photos, wind spinners, and buttons, just to name a few. If you want to add a personal touch, it's not a problem. Freeze Frame Photos can customize any photo or gift item with your own text and graphics, making each piece uniquely yours. Call Charlie today, 419-407-6994, and let Freeze Frame Photos turn your favorite memories into timeless treasures. Freeze Frame Photos, special moments frozen in time. I was talking to Charlie. My brain was going faster in my mouth. It couldn't keep up. I was talking to Charlie earlier today, and he's got some cool things planned for the 50th anniversary for Oakshade. Really? He's got some 2026 calendars he's going to make up ahead of time with some classic images of Oakshade Raceway. Because I asked him if he had a photo of that particular thing related to next week's Oakshade trivia question.
Right.
And he's got a photo that we're going to use. So looking forward to that. Also got to mention Oakshade Raceway, Dominator Race Products, Ron Miller Race Cars, Victory Fuel, Magic Moment Entertainment, and Dipman Motorsports, sponsors of the show. And before we get to our Montpelier season preview, let's check out some racing action from this past weekend, because we actually had some, didn't we? Yeah.
Racing Roundup.
Attica Raceway Park, Friday night, canceled due to rain, but somehow they got it in on Saturday there. Chris Andrews getting the win in the 410 sprints. Rusty Schlenk, another win for him in the late models out there. He
looked good.
Is he going for the championship out there this year?
I think there's too many conflicting races with the Ironman series.
With the Ironmans, I was wondering about that. We'll have to ask
him. But they
him.
are paying a little more, and it might be worthwhile to stay there if you're winning frequently.
Jamie Miller, another frequent winner there, picking up the win in the 305s.
Those last two were track record holders.
That's right. I did see a couple
of them.
Track records. Jamie Miller set a track record?
Yes.
Okay. And Rusty?
And Rusty, yeah. And the track record was broken several times during the night, but those were the two final track record holders.
Gotcha. Just checking the comments there to see if Shelley Siegert has chimed in to claim her Oakshade Raceway passes.
If you know Shelley, give her a call.
She's got about a minute. Esperance Speedway, Friday night, Jake Hoth winning in the street stocks. Jack Maroney. Maroney. We'll go with Maroney.
Yeah.
Winner in production sedans, Jacob Hill, your New Star Juniors winner, and Ben Stratton's in the late models. Sean Mazzucchelli winning in the AMCAs. Kalgoorlie International Speedway in action this past weekend. Matt Robbins picking up a late model win. Jackie Maroney again in the production sedans. Hayden Norman winning in the street stocks. Perth Motorplex. Callum Williamson, your sprint car winner. Warren Oldfield picking up a win in the late models. Caden Brown in the speed cars. Cody Turricchio, Formula 500 winner, and Blake Iwanaw picking up the win in the wingless sprints.
Did you catch the breaking news on the Motorplex in Perth?
No.
They are building a new Motorplex in town, right in the town of Perth.
What's wrong with the old Motorplex?
Oh, it's spectacular, but the new one is supposed to be spectacular.
Okay.
Amazing. Drag racing.
No, I did not hear about that. Are they going to tear down the old one then?
Apparently.
Weird. Seems like a waste. Bring that over here.
It's government money, which is totally different. They consider motorsports a tourist attraction, and they can justify that in government expenses.
Fair enough. Also down under, Premier Speedway in action. It was the 360 LS Sprint Car Victorian title on Saturday. Jamie Veal, your 360 LS Sprint Car winner. Jamie May winning in the Super Rod. Shane Hammond in production sedans. And High-Tech Toowoomba Speedway also in action on Saturday with the... Actually, no, they weren't. They were rained out. The Sprint Car Queensland title rained out there. So that sucks for them. World of Outlaw. NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Sooner State Showdown at Lawton Speedway Friday. Buddy Kofoid picking up the win there. And things didn't get finished at the Wichita Sprint Car Showdown at 81 Speedway. The feature was postponed due to high winds. Series and track officials are working to find a viable date to complete that program, and more information will be released soon. Kubota High Limit Sprint Car Series Central Arizona Raceway Friday night. Aaron Reitzel picking up the win. Saturday, Brad Sweet. And then Vado Speedway on Tuesday was canceled due to high winds as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of high wind cancellation. I don't remember many high wind cancellations.
Well, 70-mile-an-hour winds.
I'm not saying it wasn't justified. I'm just saying it just Mother Nature's getting
and Shelley missed the clock.
Yes, she did. All right. As soon as we get through these two, we'll spin the wheel again. NASCAR action this past weekend. Truck Series. Boys and Girls Club of the Blue Ridge 200 Martinsville. Daniel Hemrick picking up the win Friday night. Xfinity action at Martinsville, the U.S. Marine Corps 250. Austin Hill picking up the win in an ugly finish there. We got some news about that, some penalties and fines being handed out. And then the Cup Series, Cookout 400 at Martinsville. Denny Hamlin picking up the win on Sunday there. Less, not quite as what's the word I'm looking for? There wasn't as much
drama.
Yeah, we'll go with that. During the Cup races, there was with the Xfinity race. Not that I wanted to see Denny Hamlin win, but he did, and it's all good. So let's spin that wheel again. Shelley Seeger, you are out. So, oops, I forgot to remove her. Well, that's all right. Let's share the screen. We're going to spin again. This is for the pair of passes to Oakshade Raceway for our 50th anniversary season trivia. Again, 5 minutes to type I win in the comments of our Facebook Live. And it looks like that 5-minute clock is going to go to Amber Hovis. You are on the clock. 5 minutes, 7:13 right now, so you have until 7:18. And if you don't type I win in the comments of our Facebook Live by then, we'll spin again. That's basically how that works. Until we run out. And then if nobody wins, then I get to keep them and we'll give them away next week. Victory Fuel, the ultimate flavored electrolyte water to power your day, packed with a full load of electrolytes, 120% of your daily vitamins, and absolutely no artificial coloring, caffeine, or carbonation, just pure refreshing hydration. It's no wonder Victory Fuel is the top choice for teams on race day, helping them stay at peak performance when it matters most. Ready to stock up? Contact your local sales representative, Tanya Conley, for track concessions and business wholesale inquiries. You can reach her at Tanya at drinkvictory.com. That's Tanya. Or you can order online right now at drinkvictory.com. Don't forget to use discount code Conley Racing at checkout for exclusive savings. Victory Fuel, because champions deserve the best.
Amber Hovis, you can pick up your tickets at Ron Miller Race Cars, and I'm pretty sure you folks know your way there.
I think
Congratulations.
So. Congratulations, Amber Hovis. This week's pair of passes to Oakshade Raceway for the trivia. Oakshade 50th anniversary trivia. I can't talk and write, apparently, at the same time. Racers, get ready. Dittman Motorsports is your complete race shop in Northwest Ohio. They have Hoosier Tires, high-performance parts, and full-service support to keep you on track, whether you need expert service or the right gear. He's got you covered. Call 419-283-8580 or stop by today, DittmanMotorsports.com. And with that, how about we give Ryan a call and talk about some Montpelier Speedway action.
Sounds good.
So it's Dave says response. Apparently I got a text. I didn't realize that. Let's get him on the phone. Again, Montpelier Speedway set to kick things off this weekend.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to have that weekend weather pit stop, right?
Yeah.
And that's looking good, right?
This is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, Hammer Down Racing Report. How's it going?
Going well.
Going well.
Y'all ready for a big weekend?
Next weekend, more likely. It looks like it's a certainty of rain.
That's not what we want to hear.
I didn't want to mention that, but...
Yeah.
I spent How long did I spend? I spent quite a while the other day putting weights on my car so I could come race this Saturday night there.
Oh,
Let's talk about you and your relationship there with Montpelier. You picked up the reins to kind of bring that track back to life last year. Tell us a little bit how that all came about.
well, I've been racing for quite many years now, and we raced at Montpelier frequently, and we liked it. And I always kind of geek out with business stuff and numbers and whatnot. So every time I go to the track, I'm normally doing some calculating on that. So I began talking to Harold, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I kept notes and I date them, and I would say it probably goes back that far. And so we just kept floating the idea or asking questions. A few people came and went, and, it was kind of back on our plate again. And we thought, well, maybe this is the time.
Now, is it? I know you're a racer. Your background is with your modified there. Was it what you expected? I guess getting into promoting. Have you done promoting before?
No, never.
So you just dove right in.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like racing. The racing wasn't something we did as it wasn't a generational thing in my family. I just thought it'd be a good idea, so I did it. So no promotion experience at all. Just how's it going though? I would say, last year we did 8 races, and our goal there was to do, can we just back up what we think, number one, and can my family, I got a number of kids and wife, and just make sure that they're happy doing it. And we were, and it went well, and it seems like what our efforts are receptive to racers and fans alike. So I think we got a lot to learn, but so far I think it's going well.
I was going to ask, a lot of racers have opinions on what it would be like to promote. I wondered if it was as easy as everybody thinks.
I'd say probably the answer is no, and I say that I don't mean that negatively to the people who think it is, because I probably have been there too.
I'm sure we all have.
It's very difficult, I believe, for people to see the full spectrum of what's the other side of the conversation. So even as racers, we might say, hey, do the track this way or do it that way. But until we actually have done it, as far as prep, then you don't really know. So, I would say there's just always a whole lot more that people don't realize, whether it be, cleaning toilets or picking up trash, when a race is over the next morning. Well, even when we get it done on time, I'd say it's probably 1:30 until I lay down, and then the next morning I'll be up at 6:30 or 7, and we pick up trash. So, you just don't think about the little things.
Now, are you still racing as well, or is your focus right there on Montpelier now?
Last year I raced, and that's some of my scheduling for the track was actually around my own racing. And this year I'll continue to race, although much more limited. So if I get out a half a dozen times to 10 times, I'll be happy. I'd hope to get to do more. I just know in reality there won't be enough time for it.
Gotcha. Now, your core classes, I guess, for this year with point funds are modified, super stocks, street stocks, and Hornets. Tell us a little bit about those point funds for this year.
Yeah, so in Montpelier, some competitors probably are well aware there was maybe some promises made, not kept on the point fund. And so last year we knew that, and we were taking the time to study. And then over the winter, we knew that, hey, we're going to come out with something, but whatever we come out with, we have to, it's not in our nature to not back it up. So once we set it and we start racing, we definitely got to deliver. And so we wanted to make sure that it was big enough to be, worth it and meaningful to the racer, but also reasonable enough that, at the end of the year, because we don't yet know how will a full year go, that we still can do it. So I went back to other years and kind of look what the offers were, and we kind of dialed it up from there, especially in like the street stocks, because I really like that. I think it's a great class, and so but we kind of upped the game across the board, and we're going to do a banquet there in Montpelier and have some other things beyond just money to kind of give away, but we're going to unveil them later in the year.
So what is the championship pay for each of the classes?
Oh, you're challenging my memory. I think the modifieds is $2,000. I thought the street stocks and the super stocks is the same, but don't hold me to it. It's either $1,000 or $1,500. I'm not 100% sure without looking at it.
I figured you know, so I didn't write that down.
No, it's on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember it now. It's been a while.
Well, people can check it out on the Facebook page. And again, that's Milkman Productions. What is it?
Yeah. It's Montpelier Speedway by the Milkman.
Yes.
And the website is milkmanpromotions.com.
There you go. And that's where you can find that. And you have this new thing this year, the Moo Crew memberships.
Yeah, that's right. So you go to you've all probably been to a track and you got to pay some license, they call it. And I know I've had to pay them before everywhere as a competitor, and I've never been a big fan of it because it's just maybe one more thing to pay. So we decided that since we kind of want to do it our way, let's get rid of these competitor licenses so you don't have to participate in it at all. But in the Moo Crew, if you're joining that, we were saying, okay, we want to join together with Montpelier, part of the team. And so then, I'm assuming if you've joined, you'll come to most of the races. You have access to the point fund. But then also what we're going to be doing is giving a discount to the driver to get in the pits. So he's $5 off every time he comes in the pits. He won't have to pay to enter in transponder, he or she. We're going to put a bio on the website with social media links and our sponsor stuff to kind of help them. And then we're going to incorporate like our blog stories there with the scoop, and we're going to kind of make it centric around those people. Because I think promoting and getting the regional fans to know who the drivers are makes it much more entertaining. Because yeah, and unfortunately, like if you just show up and watch a race, you see cars doing circles, which is cool. But if you know who's in there and you know that they have a personality that you can relate to or not relate to, then you're more passionate about it.
You've got a bond with those folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So you have quite a healthy schedule this year in some series I'm not quite familiar with, like I guess not this weekend, but the following weekend, the Ultimate Heart of America late models on the 12th.
Yeah, yep. They're a touring series in Kentucky, Southern Indiana. I think they get into Northern Tennessee. So they're going to open their season up with us on the 12th, and that'll be 5,000 to win for late models. So it's
wow.
I don't know the history of Montpelier, but that's fairly sizable at least in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
And then they actually conclude their season championship. They'll be back at the Monster Mash to wrap their points championship up.
Yeah, and you got 4 dates here with the USAC Thunder Midget. Boss is coming there on May 31st. American Sprint Car Tour on June 14th. American Late Model Ironman Series on the 28th of June, and then the Hell Tour, a Wednesday show on July 9th. So, I mean, that's a pretty ambitious schedule there.
Yeah. Every month we have kind of one show that stands out maybe a bit more money or more thing each month. And, a couple, I guess, late models for sure. I love late models. There are 4 times this year that are bigger races. I think they're on there a couple more beyond that, like especially that June 28th and the Hell Tour race. Like those will be really big. And luckily I could get back with Boss in May. And then we're doing our Hoosier Hustle race I came up with last year. That's non-sanctioned, but that's a 3,000 to win sprint car race. And we had a really hell of a show last year with that.
Those 410 winged or non-wing?
410 non-wing, conventional sprints. Yeah.
Have 410 wing sprints ever run?
I think they have in the past, and they will be back in the future.
Wow.
We were very close on it this year, but I can only do so many dates, and the ones that they didn't align. So we decided we'll just keep working and see what we can figure out for next year.
That's a carrot you can dangle in front of people.
Yeah.
That's right.
Next year.
Producer Dave, he looked up the point funds there. 2,000 for modifieds, 1,000 for street stocks, super stocks, and Hornets 750.
There you go. Yep.
There it is. So, which any of these nights you're most looking forward to this year?
Good question. No. You know what? Last year, and it's been such an experience, and it's humbling to say the least. Like when we did that first race last year, it was just a regular night with these 4 classes that we're talking about, and the place was packed, and we just had like a shock because we never promoted an event before, and then the first night we did it was like a full house, and all that. And then we ended our season with that monster mash. We had 162 cars there. And, if you were there, the pits were just to the gills and overflowing. And we were able to run those shows through efficiently and get them done on time and stuff. And just people had a lot of fun. And that's, to me, it's just been really cool. So if I could pick an event, I have no idea. I love modifieds. That's where I'm at. So I'd say like the Jake Jensen Memorial in May. Those races like that to me are the best ones. So
one of our listeners want to know the Fremont trucks. Would they possibly be legal for the Monster Mash?
And I get lots of questions because there's just so many different classes out there, and we try to get a variety. And I know there's so many more that we didn't get. It's unlikely. I can't confirm, that now, but I have some. And again, this is where it's hard to see the other spectrum. But like as a spectator, if you're watching a class that has, or if you can't tell the difference between one car and another, sometimes that's less appealing or if it's confusing for a fan. So it's hard to say, but it's definitely hard to get all the classes in a year because there's just so many different types of race cars out there.
So what regular night prices and start times? I'm assuming this weekend, the $12 general admission, is that regular price? And if so, that's, compared to other tracks in the area, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Yep, the normal nights are always $12. If we have some really heightened purse, we see maybe bigger sprint car races or late model races are in the 18 to 25 range or something like that, I think. But otherwise, that's it. For me, and when I was racing a lot, and it's still the same, I would go to tracks, and my family or fans may or may not come if the show wasn't starting on time or ran promptly, or if it was too expensive. Because, I have 6 kids, so I want to bring the whole family and eat and not go broke. So it's important to me that it's reasonable for a family and that everything starts on time. I get real weird about that. So, like you asked about the start times, hot laps are at 6, racing's at 7. Sometimes you're off a minute, but I think people can trust that I got alarms going off on my phone 5-10 minutes leading up, and I'm reminding everybody. So 7 o'clock race time is where we're at.
Gotcha. So what's the best food to get at the concession stand this year?
Oh yeah, I'm a tenderloin guy myself, so that's where I'm always going for that. But opinions. We added corn dogs because my one son, major corn dog fan, and I had other people ask. So we added corn dogs this year, big soft pretzels and onion rings. But I always do a milkman meal deal throughout the year. So maybe if we can get a special deal put together where you can get a burger, fries, and a drink, or maybe it's or nachos and cheese with meat and a drink for cheaper price, then that's what we do. So you just watch for the milkman meal deal, and that's your best buy.
And that they watch on Facebook then?
Yeah, yep, that's right.
Another one of our listeners here wants to know if you can bring in a cooler.
Yeah, this year you can. And it's you can. It's got to be empty though, because you can't carry in alcohol and drink. But we also have got clearance, or I guess you'd say our approval. Last year we had a limit on beers, but now you can buy a cooler full or a bag of beers this year.
Cool. Howard,
we were talking about admission prices. What about pit passes?
It's $30. I think all the races except those bigger late model races. It's $35.
Okay, that's reasonable.
So you mentioned this weekend with the weather not looking so good. When do you make a final call for Saturday?
Yeah, on this weekend, it's just seeming really, really like a certainty. So I don't want to call it ahead of time. I could honestly by this weekend. I'm assuming by Friday night it'll be clear because they've gotten a lot of rain already, and it looks like it's like almost a guaranteed to get a hell of a lot more. Yeah. During the year though, if people are watching on the social media pages, like if it's race day and it's kind of like teetering back and forth, I'm passionately going to have a decision made by noon because, and sometimes you may have to give or take a little, but anyhow, we all know like some people are traveling from further and they want to get there early. So you kind of have to make up your mind by that point, I think, on a normal day.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah.
My frustrations coming from the Toledo area, the weather on Saturday here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then I looked at your schedule. I was like, well, maybe we'll hit it next week. But there's no super stocks on the schedule for next week.
Oh, okay, not next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I was told to try and see if I can convince you to change the schedule.
Sweet talk me.
I said I'd try. There you go.
There you go.
Any track sponsors you want to give a shout out to that's helping pay
With
for
the
things this year?
expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going off memory here, so if I forget anybody, don't shoot me. But we're getting a whole team of people together. Like last year, we didn't ask any sponsors really at all because if we take someone on as a partner in that, we must deliver. That's a personal standard. So this year we kind of went out and visited because now we have like a leg to stand on and show what we've been doing. So G&G Oil, there was the one exception last year because they came to us. G&G Oil is in Muncie, Indiana. They sell lubricants and race gases and all that other stuff we're in the ag space or industrial. They're the Victory Lane sponsor. Ground Control Landscaping in Ossian, Indiana. Francis Engine in Greenville. Bad Boy Mowers. Pearson Ag Solutions, that's the Pearson's Ag Solutions Beer Garden, and Quality Car Care for the Quality Car Care concession stands, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Carter Lumber, and I'm sure there's probably something I'm missing. I just think it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know what it is at the moment.
Well, as a racer, you're pretty good with sponsors, so you know how to rattle them off there.
Yeah, you try to, yeah.
So, last question for you here before we let you go. What are your long-term plans with Montpelier? I mean, do you plan on continuing this again next year and for the foreseeable future after that, or is this kind of
yes.
Go ahead.
No, so I made a video at the tail end of last year, and so this has been the case. We're in the midst of purchasing the facility, and it's not completely done because you have to organize certain things and all of that. I won't go into details because it's irrelevant, but I'll post about it and probably do a video once it's completed. But no, we're investing for the long term. So we're going to buy and then, stabilize what we're doing. And then we want to invest so that there's a track there for a long time. I know maybe sometimes like what I do, you always have people have an opinion or whether or not this is good for racing or not. But I've raced for 22 years. That don't make me an expert, but I absolutely love racing, and I love these 4 basic classes we're talking about. And 100% certain, and it's not just because I promote, but Montpelier is the funnest track for me as a modified driver to race on. And if it was racing, I would pick nowhere else. So, what we want to do with Montpelier is make it like because the whole town loves it, and they've been great to me. We want to see it be like if you've ever been to Fairbury, for instance. Like, that town is there's just a lot of energy for race cars, and I think Montpelier can be similar. It doesn't have to be the biggest place in the world. That's not what we want, but we want to have a good time.
Gotcha. And I've raced there twice. Not recently, though. I've been down there to watch some races, too. Right. But, yeah, it's always a good time down there. Nice facility. Track is fun. I like it. I don't know if it's still banked as high on the very tops of the corners as it used to be, but that was a wild ride, especially coming off of turn number 4 with the wall coming right there. But
yeah, it's not quite as aggressive. There was a couple years when maybe the envelope was pushed a bit, but you can still run aggressive up top. But that's where I run because I feel the most comfortable. But last year I raced maybe 2 times or something at Montpelier myself, and the one night I run 3rd or 4th or whatever, and I got beat by guys on the bottom. But that makes me happy because I want you to be able to race all over. So yeah. It was good.
Awesome. Well, pleasure talking with you again, Ryan Sutter from Montpelier Speedway. Montpelier Speedway in Montpelier, Indiana. There's a Montpelier, Ohio. When I first heard Montpelier, don't go to Montpelier, Ohio.
No, you'll be lost.
Yeah, same sort of direction from Toledo. You got to go past that one. Just about a half mile south of Fort Wayne.
Montpelier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on just on Highway 18 in Indiana. So I don't know how far south of Fort Wayne it is. A little while.
Gotcha. Well, for me, I think it's about that. So.
Yeah. Hey, can I wrap it up with a smart-ass joke? I tend to share these sometimes.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, what weighs more, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane?
A gallon of water or a gallon of butane?
Yeah.
I'll defer to Ron on that one.
Well,
go ahead and tell us, Ron.
Yeah, it's a gallon of water weighs more because a gallon of butane is a lighter fluid.
Oh, it's like dad jokes. Yeah. That sounds like something I would say.
Hey, that's okay. I'm here for the lame jokes. Whatever.
Nice. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for Saturday, but definitely keep an eye on social media and things, and pass the word along once you make a call there.
And with that, Ryan, we're going to call it a night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's not quite a mic drop, but it's a good way to end the conversation.
Good luck this season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. There you go. Ryan Sutter, the milkman promoter there at Montpelier Speedway. Finally getting to talk to him. He's a busy guy there. Jason Flory, will be talking to him here momentarily. Before we get to him, got to mention Dominator Race Products. Elevate your racing performance with Dominator Race Products, the premier choice for high-quality, durable race car components, from innovative nose pieces and valances to robust fenders and spoilers. Their products are engineered to enhance your vehicle's aerodynamics, durability, and durability on the track. Trusted by racers nationwide, Dominator Race Products delivers the reliability and performance you need to dominate the competition. Visit Dominator Race Products today to explore the extensive range of products and take your racing to the next level. Let's answer the phone. Hammer Down Racing Report. Is this Jason?
It is.
Sorry. We were still on the phone with our other guest there. Do apologize about being a little bit behind. We were just about to call you.
Oh, that's okay. It's your show. I'm just lucky to be on.
Jason Flory, promoter at Wayne County Speedway, finally getting to connect with you. 60th anniversary season for you. How many of those 60 years have you been there?
Well, I raced here. Oh my goodness, I raced here. I can't tell you. I think I started here in 1995 racing super stocks, and then went to late models. And then we had the luxury of getting a hold of this place in 2011, and so the rest is history, right? So from 2011 till now, and then I just purchased this place in the fall. So was leasing it for a while, and just bought it here in the fall. So now it's all mine.
So it sounds like this is a trend where racers are becoming promoters and owners of tracks, which I think is a good thing, because then you kind of see both sides of the situation. So I mean.
Well, I'd say it's a good thing, but so the racer needs to know when to put the promoter hat on and vice versa, because I do so many dumb things because I'm a racer at heart and I'm a bad businessman. So, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble being a racer trying to run a racetrack. I'll tell you that.
You lead with your heart sometimes.
Yeah, you just want to race. Like, so in Ohio, you guys know, so we're in Central Ohio, you really only get legitimately, you schedule 23 races, but you're only going to get about 15 of those. And 52 weeks out of the year, you're going to run 15 shows, and you're going to try to make this, and a lot of people will argue this, but I will stand on this. This is a legitimate business. This is not a charity. This isn't
right.
Let's just go, we have to turn a profit, or, nobody gets up in the morning and goes to work and doesn't work for free. Right. So, we just try to make the best of those situations, and the business has gotten so hard for everybody, the racers, it's just a tough time to do this, really, because we're at the bottom of the food chain when it comes to dollars being spent.
Well, let's talk about, before we talk about the season, you're supposed to be kicking things off this weekend. How are things looking? Did you get a lot of rain last night? And what's the forecast looking for Saturday for you?
Pretty sure they're getting...
Well, I'll just give you the honest answer. Like, if the forecast doesn't do a 180, it rained a bunch last night.
Yeah.
I'm here now working on some electrical. It's raining now. It looks like the monsoon coming. Like, we haven't seen a forecast of 3 to 4 inches in this area in one weekend, a long time. So, obviously, if nobody's going to race in the Ohio Valley area this weekend. It just doesn't. Mother Nature's wrong sometimes. Like, in the summertime, you get them pop-up storms that you can beat, but this looks like a total wash coming. Like, this isn't a thunderstorm pop-up. This is a big cold front coming. So
this isn't.
It kind of sucks.
This is not going to be one of those. Yeah, we can run it in deals.
No.
You're going to be.
We've made a lot of improvements here over the off season. We put a lot of drainage in and stuff, and they're working. Like, I came over today, and we probably had a good inch of rain last night. And the track was dry when I got here. Actually, it was a pretty nice day. It wasn't sunny, but my drains are working, so I'm pretty happy they got tested. But yeah, listen, there's nobody who wants to race more than the guy that owns the place, right? Because, like I said, we don't get 15 times a year to do this. But I also know that nobody's coming. It doesn't matter what they say. Nobody's coming if they got the wipers on. And so there'll be so many days that are so much better that the forecast is just. Listen, you schedule these races in April in Ohio, and you just hope to get one.
Yeah. So when do you make the final call or the official call for Saturday?
Tomorrow. We'll look at the weather really close tomorrow. Like, we'll see what we get tonight. Like, they're calling for a pretty good chance of an all-night soaker. Last night was just a hard rain, like a thunderstorm's come through. But we get a soaker tonight, and then they're calling for it to come back in around 7 tomorrow afternoon. So we won't get everybody, thrashing to get the last-minute cars done. If it looks like we can't get it in, we'll definitely give those guys a break, because there's a lot of guys calling going, I'm not ready. Are you going to run? Because I'm going to have to go get X, Y, and Z. And so, there's, and I'm prepared the same way. Like, I'm sitting here going, what's my next move too? Because, the weather, we've got things to prep for as well. And, food and stuff like that. And that's where the bottom line really comes in, is the food side of it. The racing part's easy. The track is always ready. The stands and stuff is easy. It's the concession stand side of, when you bring a staff in.
How many hot dogs can you eat in 1 week?
Yeah, well, listen, I'm on a diet, but I used to do pretty well. I could put some of the babies away.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the photos from Attica from today, where they've canceled tomorrow because the track's underwater. Hopefully,
motorboat.
Yeah, and didn't you mention they got a big drainage sponsor there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got ADS as the sponsor this week. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? Yeah. No, and John's got good drainage too. Like, I know he's worked hard. I've seen his infield last year. I was over there, and man, I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter how much drainage you have. What's going to happen this weekend is all the creeks are going to be full, and so all your drainage is going to be backed up, because it can't just get away.
Yeah, nowhere to go.
Yeah, and so, like I said, nobody hates it worse than me, but. Like I said, we put a schedule together. We got the practice last week. That's the first time we practiced in 3 years, because it's always been washed out. So, we look at April as a crapshoot. If we get it, we're great. If we don't, we're realistic in Ohio. It could snow. We haven't seen the last snowflake, I don't believe. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, it hailed yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So
they're talking about next week.
No, let's not talk about that.
Middle of the week.
Yeah, I've seen that same forecast too. Yeah. I've seen it too. So, But that's living in Ohio, right? You can get all 5 or all 4 seasons in the same day if you catch it right.
Yeah. So your weekly show, you basically got 5 classes for a regular weekly show there: late model sprints, modified super stocks, and mini stocks. Is that too many cars for? I mean, how quick does a show run with 5 classes there?
Well, so this is the real deal. So I don't think it's too many classes. I really don't. I've thought about it. I thought, man, maybe we should streamline this. I look at what John does over at Attica, and I look at other people, and I think, entertainment dollars, people want to make sure they get in and get out. I think if you go to promoter school, they say 3.5 to 4 hours is the window of opportunity. So we've done really well here. There's nights where we can kick it off at 7 and at 10:30, we've been done with 5 divisions at 10:30 before. When everybody's clicking, the flagman's good, the tow trucks are good, like everybody's rolling is good. But boy, when the train comes off the tracks, you just want to find a rock and crawl under because nothing can go right some nights. And I think we can run an efficient program here. We've changed personnel all the time, not because people, aren't good enough. But I'm a realist. I want it to be the best. Like if you want to be the best, you gotta find the right people. And everybody has a different skill set. And sometimes you just got to move people around. They're better at certain things than others. And my job is to figure out who's the best at what and put them in that position. And every year we alter it a little bit and we try to make a go of it. And usually, I'd say 11. I'd say 11 o'clock. We have a midnight curfew. So at the end of the day, we back that up and we go, okay, without weather, without red flags, we're going to be out here at midnight. And that's even too late for today's crowd.
It is.
Which is weird, but yeah.
It is, but I think that's the new. So I'll tell you what: if you go south of here, like if you get below Route 70 in Ohio, I think it changes. I think down there, people feel like they don't get their money's worth unless they're there till 1 in the morning. It's just a different atmosphere, and I think it's just where you live and what the expectations are.
Gotcha. Well, you got some big events coming up this year, starting I guess even with next week, which hopefully. Weather will be a little bit better. You got the Boss Series coming. You got a couple here All-Star events. The All-Stars back this year. You got Ohio Sprint Speed Week Monday on June 16th, and then you got a Tuesday show, a 7,500 to win on August 12th. What's that about?
Well, I'll tell you what. Me and Rich Farmer, it's ironic. So I was in Florida on vacation. And he posted he was in Key West as well. So he was right around the corner from me. So we sat and this whole thing kind of came together in the sunshine, obviously. But no, I told him I wanted to do something big. And I feel like you can't, we're a Saturday night racetrack, but you can put a compass in Central Ohio and you can go 2-hour radius and you can find a 5, 10, maybe even a 15,000 to win race in a late model or sprint car show every weekend on that compass. And if you're going to try to run something big that you don't already have a date where people leave it alone, like our Pete Jacobs race on Labor Day Sunday, it's nobody messes with it. I'm clear to run it, right? So we all try to stay off them big shows, but I told him, I said, I'm going to try a midweek show. I'm just going to try something different because the only way you're going to get something going now is you're going to have to think outside the box. And sprint car racing is a good way to do that because it seems like it draws a crowd further away than the late models does. And so I'm kind of excited about it, to tell you the truth. I mean, the All-Stars are coming back. They're getting a lot of cars. Rich has done a really good job this offseason putting it together. I think it could be something big.
And also Sunday, August 31st as well, another All-Star event. None of the All-Star races are on your regular Saturday night, though.
No, and that's by design. Obviously, it's by design. So the Speed Week is like gospel around here. The Duffy Smith Memorial, it's just, I wouldn't take any other date because everybody knows Monday they're going to Wayne County. And that Tuesday show, like I said, that's my thought process. But we've been running that Pete Jacobs Memorial on Labor Day Sunday since basically the second year we were here. And that's just a staple. And yeah, I don't know. The All-Stars go so many different places and you're competing on Saturdays. Like I said, I love those. Nobody's running Monday. That's me. Nobody's going to run Tuesday because that's me. And then so you got Sunday, which, I mean, you might have somebody, but nobody's running for 10,000 to win. So those are my 3 dates that I feel very comfortable that because let's face it, in this business, you're only going to have 5 or 6 that you're going to circle that the weather's good. They should be really good shows.
Absolutely. And you got 3 dates with the Fast Under Series, July 5th, July 25th, and August 23rd. Then also the American Late Model Ironman Series on August 9th. What show are you most looking forward to this year?
Well, I'm a late model racer at heart. I mean, I race late models. I love late model racing. So there's two I really look forward to. So for me at Wayne County, it's the Don Hansgross Memorial, which would be that Ironman Series race. They're good friends of mine, and it's a memorial race. And we do a throwback scheme we started last year where I think we had 5 or 6 guys go back to some drivers from the past. So we do a Hans Gross car, we do a Don Gross car, and then some of the people that used to race here in the past, some guys did some throwback stuff, and that's kind of cool. Something like NASCAR does at Darlington. And so that's one I like to circle because Rick is still around. Rick owned this place with his dad back in the 80s, and then of course he ran Stars late model series for years and promoted Pennsboro. So there's a lot of history. And one thing, I'm a big history buff. If you forget where you come from, you'll never be able to go anywhere. And then the other one is the Hell Tour. We got the finale for the Summer Nationals Hell Tour race.
That's right, I missed that. Yeah,
and that's become a really good deal for me. Like Tyler Erb won that last year, and it was a great race. And then the year before, with my local Kyle Moore won that thing. His mom had just passed, and it was very emotional. But both of those have been fantastic races on Dirt Vision, national televised race, and I love it when things go good when you're on TV.
Yeah.
Well, and Kyle Moore represents you very well.
Yeah, he had a heck of a year last year there and at Attica as well.
Yeah, listen, he was on a tear last year. Like, I tell him, I just seen him here a couple of days ago. I'm like, you pinch yourself because 2025, I think he's got a 5th and 7th at Attica, and I'm like, what's going on over there? And people work, right? Over the winter, things change. Your mojo changes. People work hard and catch up, and you got to stay on top of your game. But I wouldn't worry about him. He does represent well. He traveled a little bit last year. He was at Lawrenceburg, and he went somewhere, I want to say Illinois, and hit a win there late in the year. I forget where he went. I didn't go with him, but he chases that UMP deal. He really wanted to win that deal, and so I think this year you might see him travel more to try to. He's got to get like 40 races a year. He figures to be contention for that national deal.
Gotcha. What's this Ohio Dirt Blowout on the 19th and 20th of September?
Well, that's something that we took from Lakeville. So Lakeville Speedway, everybody around here remembers Lakeville Speedway, and it was like a mom and pop track. Bob Skippers ran it when I used to race there, and it was like a finale at the end of the year. And when that place closed up, we bought a bunch of stuff, a scoreboard and some fencing and stuff, and people always wanted me to carry that tradition on. It's not the greatest weekend for the promoter or the staff because you got a bunch of people camping and partying and raising all kinds of what. So it's a lot of Friday night's a lot of low budget, lower class stuff. We run some stuff like mini stocks and super stocks and modifieds and some mod light stuff. And then it's a big party. And then so Saturday we come in and it's just like the final race of the year where it's just everybody's having a good time and so we just call it the blowout. That's what it was at Lakeville. And, that's kind of, every year we try to change it up and try to find something that makes it better. We used to run heat races on Friday and then finales on Saturday, but the racing industry's changed where most people don't really want to just come out to the races for a heat race and load up and go back home. So I kind of seen the tide switch in there. So we had to change it up, but so that's what we do. It's just kind of a relaxed, throw it out weekend and just have some fun just to finish the year off. A lot of people are tired. School started. The Buckeyes are on. So you got to be careful in the fall when you run.
Yeah. Now, is that just with the regular 5 classes?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we run the mod lights on Friday night. We bring those in because, the Friday night football is going on. So you can't run too many high price classes on Friday. But I'll tell you what, if I had time and I had a bigger pit area, and I don't have either one, so I'm not going to do it, but those mod lights put on a heck of a show here. And I really tell you, that's a class that I really watch. And we've had a couple guys move up to the sprint car class this year from the mod light division. So that I look at that class as those are the guys that are going to be running 410s in 4 or 5 years. And I want to make sure those guys are taken care of. But there's enough tracks around me that are running them, so I don't need to step in there. So I feel good about that.
So what are your regular prices for grandstand pit passes for this year and times as well, start times?
Yeah, so the gate's always open here on a traditional regular Saturday night. We open at 3, hot laps at 6, racing at 7. $20 general admission. Kids 12 and under are free. There's a military and a senior discount of $2, so $18 for military and senior. And then the pit passes are $35. I think 6 and under are free, and then from 7 to I think 12, there's a discount in the pits too. So So we don't charge for, like, I don't know, you'd be surprised how many little kids, you know, mom and dad are coming to the pits and, you know, they're like, well, how much is this going to cost? Well, you can't charge them. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we try to make it family friendly the best we can. You know, I think everybody wants to go back to the old days, and I know, like, I think Oakshade still does a $10 general admission up there. I do believe they were, at least maybe last year I've seen that. And, man, good for them. I wish.
I know Sandusky does like dollar nights quite often. I know it's a pavement track, but
well, I talked to a friend of mine, a client, a marketing partner of mine last week, and we were just talking about what would I want to do here if I could do something. I would love to do a $5 night, because I always want to know, like, you're never going to make it up in the food. Anybody ever tells you if you let them in for free, you'll make it, that's impossible. But I always want to know if money makes a difference. Like, and I'm not joking about it. Like, you know, a $5 night, it won't double your crowd, but I like to see what it would do. And then you could really learn something from it and maybe adjust what you do. And maybe it's not every week, but maybe it's some special events that you could do that. But it's that one night where if you did it and you took a $15,000 hit in the chin, I don't know if you'd feel good about that. You know, well, I mean, you know what I mean? You want that data, but you don't want to be that. You don't want to lose that either, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, with the two headline classes, $5 night would be a challenge.
Yeah, and if you did it without those classes, it wouldn't be a true measure either. Because people are like, well, just do it when you don't run them. I'm like, nah. Because listen, we took this thing over in 2011, and they didn't run 410 sprint cars anymore. The previous ownership had gotten away from it, and you know, when racetracks close, there's always a reason, and it's whether it's bad management or bad economy, or you know, sometimes it's a matter of the fairgrounds own something and they don't want to do it anymore. But in this place, it just looks. I think you can get really tired. I really do. I think people can just get burnt out and just beat down. And so when you bring a new face in here, you know, we look back and we go, hey, you know, 410s is what made this place, and we just kind of brought new energy. And I'll be honest with you, I have a group of people that support me that work here, and it's a group effort. But you got to keep your energy level up, man, because you can easily, these internet, Facebook is great to promote, but it also is that double-edged sword, man, because those people can have a voice with no face, and they'll tell you things that you don't even know about. But you can't listen to that, because it's only 10 people or just 10 people, right? I mean, it's I see why things do what they do, but getting back to that, if we didn't run 410 sprints, I don't think we'd make it here.
Is it possible to see a $5 night sometime this year at Wayne County?
Yeah, it's an itch I want to scratch.
What's that?
It is. I got to know. Like, it's just something I got to know, because I talked to Rich and I talked to John a little bit, and there's a few of us promoters that talk once in a while, but like, I don't know. Like, I run this place different than John runs Attica, and so forth and so forth. And Rich is really stretched out. He's at Waynesfield this year. He's there.
He's everywhere.
I don't know. Insane.
He's insane.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to find the time. Like, I'm like, man, I don't understand. Because I work a real job and do this, and I'm like, whew, and I'm not married or nothing. He's got, Shelly, and of course I know she's going to help him. But yeah, so I think you just got to, what do you call it? Network. I network with people I can to get more knowledge, because this industry changes every year. Like, it's just crazy from 2011 to 2025. The insurance, people don't even think about insurance rates and things like that. I just tell you, this year, I was really shocked about where I was been and where I'm at insurance wise, with no claims. It's just an industry standard. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of things on the back end of these racetracks, and I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm just a realist. Like, I know people don't think $20 is too much to go to the races, but I'm telling you right now, like, if I could do it cheaper, I would. But like, everybody above us is getting their cut, and it's the ambulance services are paying more, because they got to find people that want to come out Saturdays and sit in a squad and watch the races, right? So they got to pay them people more money, in the fire departments, and it's a crazy deal, guys. And you guys know as well as I do. And I don't know. It's a tough industry to be in. If you didn't love it, you don't see a lot of people do it because it's a financial windfall. We're all not going to the Bahamas every year for the 6 months, or by no means.
What? According to all those people, those 10 people on Facebook, you're making tons of money and just putting it in your pockets. And,
I got told that last week at practice, because we had our grandstands closed because Rick was going through doing some bleacher boards and stuff, and we just like, hey, it's the pit. You want to come in? It's $20. Let's come on in. Let's go practice. And somebody said I was close the grandstand because I want to pad my pocket. I'm like, well, after insurance and all the expenses I had, I mean, if I bought my crew lunch, because I didn't pay anybody to work that day, I did buy lunch, so I probably broke even or made about $100. So if that's padding your pocket, well, then maybe you got to rethink what you do for a living.
Yeah. Well, I know you said you're on a diet, but when you head to the concession stand there, what's your go-to food?
Well, I'll tell you, I like everything here. The menu is my menu. It's specifically my choices what's on there, but it is. So fresh cut fries are great. I have big steak fries. I was at Volusia one year, and I got an order of French fries, and they were steak cut fries, and I've had them here ever since because I love them. So I really, myself, I'm a big fan of hot dogs. They're all beef. They're really good. I could eat 50 of them, but I don't, but I could. And but I tell you, the number one thing people love here is the hamburgers. It's They're steak burgers. I use Velveeta cheese. I use fresh bread for buns, and people love them. I'm not the biggest fan. They're good, but I don't drool over them. But I have people come to me and go, "Man, I come here for the cheeseburgers."
I'm starting to get hungry now. I didn't eat dinner.
Yeah, I haven't either. So I haven't either. But we have root beer floats, and we try to have. The root beer floats here. I got a vanilla bean ice cream that is just awesome. And so you can get root beer floats, and you can get a couple ice cream. And then if you really just want to go all out, we got a full beer stand too. So you can, we got it all here. And we do price it affordable. One thing I do is when I have people that go to the racetracks, we take pictures of the menus. I'm sure people do it here as well. We all compare to what we're charging. And I change suppliers quite often if I have to try to keep that price point down, but I never sacrifice quality. One thing about food industry is, if you come to Wayne County and you get a hamburger this week, I want you to come back in a month and get the same hamburger. I don't try to, consistency in the food industry is very important.
Yep. Yeah. Well, another one of those things that racers may not think about when they decide they want to be a promoter.
That's
there. You got to be a restaurant or a restaurateur.
Yeah, I mean, I had the health department here last week, for our opening inspection and stuff, and there's a lot that goes into that. And I didn't know any of that stuff. Like, you come here and you're like, what do you mean you got to have a food license? What do you mean you got to do this? And so after 11, 12, 14 years, however long it's been, it feels like I've been here forever. But, I mean, one thing that's going on this year for me is I've got a new marketing team. I've got some people around me that have really done really well getting me some signage sold and some new things that we're going to announce soon. And, it's really, really cool to have some support from people who are just excited as I am we're kind of rebranding this place. I wasn't going to. I bought this thing. I didn't put a press release out. I've been running it for so long. It's nothing different on my end, but I've got this lady helping me who I've known my whole life, and she's like, we're going to rebrand it. We're going to paint. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. She's all excited, and so that just rubs off, man. When people are amped up to do things around here, it's contagious.
Now, you mentioned the signage. You want to mention any of the sponsors that are helping support Wayne County this year?
Yeah, I mean, I won't get them all, but I mean, so O'Reilly Auto Parts, number one. So, I mean, if you look at our logo, it says, Wayne County Speedway, O'Reilly Auto Parts chase the championship. I landed them 5 or 6 years ago, I think it has been, and they've just been awesome to work with. So O'Reilly Auto Parts is awesome. I've got the Wayne County Schools Career Center, so we're in the adult ed program, so we're trying to get them kids that are in auto tech and ag pro or ag mechanics, trying to get those gearheads over to the racetrack. That's the next generation of people. And so then you got Flint's Tire and Auto Service. Ken up at Flint, he's awesome. He does a lot for my modified division. White's Ford, if you're going to buy a Ford and you're in Oroville, get it from Brian at White. Of course, Mansfield Distributing, if you want to drink beer. I drink Mick Ultra because I'm on that diet, but man, we got it all here. If you want, we got whatever you need. But so yeah, we got so many here. Pine Tree Towing and Recovery. I don't know if you know Ronnie Myers. They run 410s. Both them boys run 410s. They're a big supporter of Wayne County Speedway. They bring a wrecker up here every Saturday. Probably the nicest people you ever meet. So yeah, Pepsi, Serpentini Chevrolet, CSB Bank. Obviously, I bank there, so they feel obligated to help me out a little bit because they know how poor I am. The Car Connection, Hall's Auto Sales in Mansfield. Daisy brand. Daisy has a big plant here in Worcester. They make milk products like sour cream and things like that.
Sure.
They do their human resourcing tier. They do job fairs and stuff. So we try to, we're in a demographic that fits them. It's 18, 28 people looking for work. So this is a good place. It's a good market there for that. Sometimes you just can't get the right people to sell it to them. But, these job fairs, everybody today will quit for $1 and walk across the street. And that's just the world we live in. So you come here and you can solicit and try to get those people and see if you can get you some new workers.
So I haven't been to Wayne County Speedway since the 70s myself. My dad took me when I was a wee little kid. I don't remember much, but people coming from Northwest Ohio, Toledo area, what's the best way to get to Wayne County Speedway?
Oh man, so come down the Turnpike. I guess last time I was in Toledo, I come down the Turnpike and I probably get off there at 250 and bring 250 down, and then you can bring it all the way. 250 comes right into Worcester, and then it actually blends in with Route 30. And we're just actually 2 miles east of Worcester on Route 30. And there's a big sign on Route 30. State did us a job, man. They put us a big sign up, and we're on Car Road exit. We're a mile north of Route 30. I can hear the semis driving down 30 talking to you on the phone. So, and when we got American flag, that's probably the biggest American flag in the racing industry besides maybe NASCAR. But when it's up on a 100-foot pole on a good blue sky day, Route 30, you can see the Old Glory flopping in the wind.
Very nice.
And so it's a pretty cool Saturday when it's beautiful and there's no chance of the rain. And I'm rolling in on 30 and you can just see the flag blowing out. And I don't know, man, that's just how as American as it gets, right? I mean, racing is, we're all hobby racers. Ain't none of us, I have a real job and everybody who races here is going to work on Monday. And I love those nights when everybody's just happy to be racing. Now that happens early in the season. By about July, well, you know what happens. The heat picks up. When the temperature goes up, the attitudes and egos and the tempers, but,
a lot of SOBs flying.
Yeah. And you know what? And that we talked earlier, we started this conversation with maybe racers make the best promoters. I think in those situations, I have been the biggest son of a you-know-what to promoters when I race. And so I know how to handle that a lot better. I can put myself in their position. And the racers are the easy ones. The fans now, sometimes those are the rough ones.
Really?
They're very passionate. They're very passionate. You get some grandma up there, and you better watch out.
Easy there. She's probably listening.
Yeah, listen, shoot, because what are you going to say to her, right? I mean, you're just going to take it. There's nothing you're going to do. You're like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know. I'll tell you what, this place has made me a different person. It's made me a better person because I learned a lot, and my passion's still going strong. Like I'm telling you, the vision I have for this place, I'm not even a third of the way to where I want to be.
So you're going to be around.
And we've changed a lot. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. Listen, I work. I have a crew here that helps me, and as long as they're still passionate, like I'm telling you, like we came here. When I raced here in the '90s, I was like, I hated this place, and it was a flat racetrack with tight corners, and it was just boring. I thought it was boring. I'm like, man, if I ever owned this place, I would bulldoze it over and put a housing development. I said that a million times. Well, you know what? I banked the heck out of this place, and I brought the infield in the corners. I made this thing about 8 cars wide with banking against the guardrail, and I've turned this into a pretty darn good little racetrack, and I'm pretty proud of that. And so we never stop improving because I'm out there watching every lap, and I try to figure out where I can develop another passing zone. And I talk to drivers all the time about, hey, what about this? Or why don't we do this? Or what if we did this? Would that make it? Because if you don't have passing, you ain't got nothing.
Right.
It reminded me of when I was looking at your website, right there on your homepage, where it's racing, not chasing.
That's right. I mean, you're going to have that night like Kyle's last year. Kyle in the late model division last year. I mean, it's just, you can't fix that, right? I mean, that's just pure talent and a guy just rolling. You're not going to change the rules to fix that. But I talked to Kyle a lot, and he's had a lot of input on the things we do here. He comes out and jumps on a tractor as well. But if you ask around, people will tell you, man, they call this place the county. And these sprint car racers, man, it takes a set of balls to get around here. They're up against the guardrail, wide open. Like Lee Jacobs, his family built this place. And, last year we were doing something. He's like, holy cow. It's just, we never stop improving. I don't know who says, maybe Goodyear says that, so I can't copyright that. But, I'm always looking to make it better because if you go stagnant in this business, they'll pass you. Somebody will catch the thunder.
Who are the favorites for championships this year? I know Kyle Moore's in the conversation for the late models. What about other classes?
Well, listen, so Kyle's going to take that late model championship until somebody proves otherwise. But in the sprint cars, we have so many. So the cool thing about the sprint cars in Wayne County is we have probably 10 guys that support us every week, and then you just have people who roll in here. And when you look at the schedule, say I told you we're going to get 15 shows in maybe. So what, 4 or 5 of those are fast races, 3 of them are all-star races. And then you got a boss race or whatever in there too. So you got 7 or 8 races that are going to be traveling teams in here. And so, and then when them guys aren't traveling, we get Brandon Spithaler in here. Oh man, I'm trying to think of that. I haven't tipped my tongue and you guys got me tongue tied, but the Myers boys. So Chris Myers, Jamie Myers, those guys are running good cars here. They do well. Jordan Ryan, he was a past track champion. I know he's going to run the fast series, but he straggles in here quite a bit. And he won the Speed Week show last year. So his first Speed Week show ever. Couldn't have a nicer guy. His dad and him are so good. His car owner, Matt's a good guy. So sprint car racing, it's anybody here. It really is. It's just anybody. If I told you one guy, I'd be lying because I never knew who's coming into the gate.
Fair. Well,
it's.
What about the other classes? Any favorites in those?
Well, the super stock class. So the super stock class, I'm reinventing that thing. So that thing was my best class years ago. Kind of fell off last year. People were thinking I was going to shut it off because it was down to 3 or 4 cars. Some nights, people got married, people got kids. Things change. So we had a little powwow at the end of the year, and Braden Tuckey was our champion. And so, his parents own the Canton Glass House, and they're a big marketing partner here too. But so we had a meeting, and we had a lot of people come out and was like, "Hey, I'm getting a car. Hey, I'm going to put mine back together. Don't drop this class. We really like it." So at practice this last Saturday, there's cars here. I didn't know who they were, and it looks like we're going to be 10 or 12 strong. I would look for Braden Tuckey to try to repeat. He's a young kid with a lot of desire. Brandon Craver's a past champion. He sold his camper and told his wife he's going back to the racetrack. So look for those guys. But the modified division, so Kyle's rumor is Kyle might have a modified ride. If that happens, that'll be weird because he dominated that class a couple years ago. But Jimmy Humphrey got Ford power under the hood, really coming into his own. I look for Jimmy to and Ryan Markham's driving Torg's car, to Stan Torg's car, and it had a lot of success last year. And, I was a champion as well last year. And I look for Ryan to try to duplicate Ryan. I'll tell you, Ryan running a modified here and then getting in the late model has made him a lot better racer, just in general, just hustling and learning the difference between those big tires. I think he's learning some stuff. But those 3 will battle it out. And then the mini stocks, Doug Hensel has been dominating, but he moved up to the modified division. So I would have to say, Anthony Collins was our past champion. He just put a picture. He's got his car all ready to go. I don't know. There's so many guys, and so I know nobody wants to watch mini stocks, right? So if you guys go to the races, you watch the mini stocks truthfully.
I've only been to a couple places that run mini stocks, and no, I didn't see them, but I was racing at that time too. So
yeah. So the mini stock class to me, so they're not 150 mile an hour. They're not going to.
It's for mom and dad to come and watch.
Yeah, but man, 4 wide, beating and banging, not throwing cautions. If you're looking for true side-by-side racing, just because it isn't at 100 mile an hour, the mini stock class is definitely. I tell people, they run last, and it's not. I shouldn't run them last because sometimes they're the best show. And I always tell people, stick around, and that's where we come back around to your original question: was you got to get the show running because people will stay. If it's 10 o'clock, they'll watch that show. If it's 11, they're going to bail. So it's very important to run an efficient program because. That mini stock class, like I said, our past champion, Doug Hensel, he's moving to modified division. We had a guy from the mini stocks go to sprint cars years ago. So, yeah. So,
there's a jump.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had a good story to tell you about that, but he's not racing anymore. And he went through a lot of equipment in the sprint car days. He went 2 years in sprint cars, and he was showing signs like he really could do it. He had the talent. He was a bull in a china shop, and I think he just ran out of money, and that's what happens so many times is money gets tight, and sometimes you just especially when you get married. As soon as I see some of my racers get married, I go, oh boy, who's going to fill them shoes? Because generally speaking, young kid gets married, next thing you know, they're going to have a family and a house and things, and it changes you. Yeah, it has to. So it's our job as promoters, though, is that we have to be better. We have to be better promoters. And I say this all the time. I tell people, like, running a racetrack is easy. The racetrack is easy. Promoting is the hardest job in the world. And people, I always put it up to WWF wrestling, like Vince McMahon back in the day. Like it has to be that. It has to be a show. We want it to be good racing. But there has to be an entertainment value today because racing alone isn't enough. And I think we're seeing that all across the motorsports divisions. Like, it has to be more. Your diehards don't like it. So your older fans, they just want to come to the races. But, if you don't have a little concert going for a pre-race or a little bit of something going on, the fan stuff, like they demand it.
Right.
Times are different. And so that's the hard part about being a promoter. Yes, that's what it is. Lions and tigers and bears, or sprint cars, late models, and modifieds. It's no different. Yeah, people are paying for a show.
Absolutely.
It's entertainment.
You mentioned younger drivers. A few, actually, I guess it was a couple months ago, we had Matt Meggett on, who's going to be racing in the 410 sprints this year, making the jump up from, was it go-karts?
Yeah.
So
oh, wow. Well, good for him. So, that's good news. We need that. Like, and he don't race Wayne County, but someday he might be on the All-Star Tour, run fast, and he'll be at Wayne. You know what I mean? We need those younger guys to come up through because, I'm telling you, like, every year, I'm not trying to be down, but like the obituaries, I find 4 or 5 of my fans, they're just, people just pass away. And like, we're just not getting those younger guys in here. And that's why my connection with the career centers, try to get some of those gearheads. Hey, man, you don't even know we're here. Like, some people don't know. They weren't exposed to it. And so I always say, if I can get you here once, I'll probably get you 2 or 3 times at least after that. Because it's usually pretty addicting, right? We all love it. If you go, you'll love it or hate it. I think that's all. I don't think there's a gray area. Either you want to come back or you're like, oh my God, never again.
So do you find that trying to get the younger generation to come out to the races, is that one of the hardest challenges of being a promoter?
Yeah, because so I grew up working on cars. Because let's face it, kids, they can't work on cars because they're all computerized. There's nothing. We're not tuning carburetors and putting cams in cars no more. We've lost that. So what do you have now, right? So what are people doing? iRacing is huge, right? COVID showed us that. COVID showed us that iRacing is huge. And so there's a lot of people who love racing online. Well, that's an expense. And I have a guy who has a rig. They call it a rig, I guess, an online rig or simulator. And so they're going to bring it out a couple times this year, and we're going to try that. We're going to really promote that up. And, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe you get the young kids to come out because it's a video game, because that's the trend. Whether I agree with it or not, it doesn't really matter. I agree with putting people in the stands, and if that's what it takes, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and maybe they'll come out and then they'll smell the fuel, they'll hear the cars, the engines, and that I think is the thing that's missing from the iRacing. But you get that, and boom, maybe you got them hooked.
Well, you got so many kids that they're just not exposed to the cars anymore because they get in the car and it's fuel injected and
it drives itself.
Listen, I drive I have a nice truck. My truck drives itself. Blue Cruise on these Fords are awesome, right? And so I always think, man, I grew up in a great generation where I was in high school, man, I was tuning my thing up every weekend, and it blows up and you put another one in. But we have to figure out what these kids are doing, what they're into, and if they are iRacing or if they do like motorsports, how do we get them here? Because just saying, hey, here's a free ticket, come to County Speedway, like what draws them in? And so that's what I'm working hard, and that's why I'm working with the career center. Is like, hey, even if I got to go in there and talk to them, like I don't care, I'll go in there and talk to them. I'm a goofy. I can talk to anybody and make things. You just want them to come out for the show and get their input. What would it take to get them here? Like sometimes you just have to ask somebody, why don't you come here? Like what is it? Is it price? Is it you're not interested in motorsports, or you just never made the time? And like if you don't ask, you'll never know.
When you find that answer, that's probably going to be worth it. Yeah, give us a call if you're willing to share it, but I'm willing to bet that's probably going to be worth quite a bit.
Well, I work on that every year. I do sleep over it. I won't lie to you guys. I stress over it because, listen, there's a big mortgage when you buy a racetrack, right? I own this place. There's a mortgage. In the future, my mortgage is the fact that I got to keep this racing thing going because, listen, when I race the snowmobiles, because it doesn't snow that much here, it rains more than it snows. People are like, you should do flea markets. Well, yeah, right. Like that's some money. That's great. There's not much you can do with the facilities the way they are. We could do some concerts and stuff, but there again, you're going up against a lot of other things. But we have to get these people still interested in cars, and we're losing the battle, guys, because this electric stuff is coming, and it's going to make it worse for us.
Yeah. What do you feel about? Really is. What do you feel about some of these gimmicky kind of things? Like I know a lot of asphalt tracks are doing with the school bus figure eight racing, maybe a monster truck show. Right. What are your thoughts on those kind of shows? I like it.
Thrill shows are great. I'll tell you, if I had an asphalt track, I would do a figure eight race or trailer race every week. I would. I love it. You get my attention. I'm a dirt guy, and I go. I'll tell you what, during COVID, demolition derbies, I'm not a big derby guy, right? But I'm like, everybody wanted to do one. Those things were great. The downside to derbies for me is we use a little bit of the front straightaway and stuff, but it's after that. It's a lot of cleanup, but stuff gets buried in the dirt, and you can't get everything. But then when we race round cars, and especially a sprint car tire, you got $300 right rear and it gets cut. Even if it didn't get cut from anything from the derby, it gets blamed on the derby.
Yeah.
And so the asphalt guys have that unique ability to go out with a street sweeper and clean that mess up and have that fresh track. But I think anything that sells tickets, I would bring Bigfoot over here and Gravedigger, and let's just jump 10 cars. Let's do it tomorrow. Sign me up.
Scott Schultz is retired from Toledo Speedway, but he was famous for saying that stupid sells.
Yes, everybody thinks. I'll tell you, the biggest race ever here wasn't when I did it. Wayne Phillips owned this place, and he had a motocross track in the infield. So on Friday nights, he ran motocross. That was his love. And he was good at promoting motocross. And then on Saturdays, we did the circle race, and he wasn't so much into circle racing, but he had the Kangaroo Kid come here, and he paid him $5,000, and it was a world record jump here, and the guy wrecked and broke his arm or something. But this place was standing room only for a Kangaroo Kid to come in here and make a jump on a dirt bike. So that still holds true today. As a promoter, like, we get tunnel vision because we race cars here. We race sprint cars. We race late models. Yeah, and you'll live and die with sprint cars and late models. You've got to be more open to different things. And what you'll hear if I'll put on the schedule, we're going to run a monster truck show. What I'll get is, that's stupid. We want to race. It's a racetrack. Well, yeah, you do. But I know if we run the same show every week, people quit coming every week because they can come next week and see the same show. You've got to be diversified to survive.
Toledo Speedway, school bus figure eight, like Scott was saying, packs the place.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it draws me.
Especially when they have Kenny Schrader come in and run one of them.
Yeah. I mean, some of our biggest nights, Rico's won here. Kyle Larson's had a lot of success here. Casey Kane's been here. I mean, we've had so many, Christopher Bell. Those are good nights, right? So, but those days are over for us because those guys really aren't. You don't see those guys running so Speed Week show, 7,500 to win Speed Week show. Those guys aren't coming for that no more. The market's changed to where, high limits raised the bar so high for us now that if it isn't a 12 or 15, those guys are not really looking to do the 7,500 no more. So as promoters, we lost our big draw. So we've got to make that up with other things. Our local drivers put on just the same good show. They just don't have the star power to draw the casual fan who only wants to come when there's a superstar here. And so I always say this, though, and this will get me, this usually gets me in trouble. Racers are their own worst enemies because they do zero. And the zero could be lower, they do zero to help promote themselves and the racetrack.
-0.
They do zero. They do. Most race car drivers want to go to Bob's Auto Parts store and they say, Bob, give me $500 and put your name on my car. They don't go to them and say, hey, I race at Wayne County Speedway and we're going to be on the cushion and this big audience and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to promote you and you can come out and set up a display. They don't call the promoter and try to be a partner. They just want your $500 because you own an auto parts store, so you must like cars and you should put it on my wing because I race.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's only so much I can do on my side of the fence.
How much bandwidth has been wasted by racers saying, we would like a marketing partner and on their Facebook page?
I see it all the time. I seen a guy yesterday. I can't find nobody to sponsor me, so now I'm going to family and friends. I want to race this year. Is anybody out here willing to give me any money? Well, heck, if it was that easy, man, around the whole place, I would, you know what I mean? Like, I tell every racer here, like, get a sponsor, get with me, what can we do to help him get more recognition? Because if you need that to continue to race here, then I want to help you keep that guy, right? Because if you're here, that's supporting me, and I can help you. Like, it doesn't always have to be money in my pocket. I want to be able to make sure that these guys can continue to do what they're doing. But when I ask you to bring your car at 2 o'clock and put it behind the grandstands and sit there and sign autographs till 5, and you don't want to do it, I can't fix this.
Yeah.
Like, I give you opportunities. I give you the tools in the toolbox, but I can't turn the screw for you. And that is where we're hurting. I'm telling you that a lot of people lie, and I don't lie. I'm telling you, this whole sport is a bunch of entitlement going on, and there's just a whole lot of people making too much money, and they're not willing to work anymore for it, and that is the problem.
Well, I know we kind of got off on a little tangent here, a little promoting thing. It was interesting, very interesting.
Now you're shutting me off. Now I see how this goes.
No, but before I forget my next question here, I want. You mentioned the cushion. I forgot to ask: is the regular shows do you have a streaming partner for that?
Yeah, so the cushion will be back this year. Obviously, the Dirt Vision's on the Hell Tour, and Flo's picking up the All Stars. And so there's a couple races where we couldn't agree, not so much agree. We couldn't find a guy to film or whatever. So, but the cushion will be here, and so like 90% of our shows will be covered, and then what is picked up by him, obviously Dirt Vision and Flo will have. And you know, last year we didn't really promote that much. I'm a little old school. Like, I wasn't really keen on it, but I was like, sometimes Jason's got to get up with the times. We had a little hiccups. We had a couple nights where it was like, I don't know about this. We had some new people filming, and they weren't really familiar with racing. But I do see the advantages of streaming. Like, we all have Flow and we all have Dirt Vision. If you say you don't, then we all know we're lying. We all do it. But we all backdoor it and say, oh, this is going to kill racing. Well, I look at what Flow's done with the high limit. Now, they've given back, right? Whether we agree with the split with the sprint cars, that's not debatable right now. But Flow Racing has done and donated and put money back into the sport. Dirt Vision has done that with the World of Outlaws. That's how they're going to be successful, because streaming is bigger. The problem with that is those guys don't want to screw around with local racetracks no more. They're going to pick and choose where they go, where the market's the biggest. So, like, we had a high limit show. We were very fortunate. Sheldon Honschild, local guy here, right, got us a high limit show. Probably one of the worst shows I ever had in my life. I was embarrassed. Like, the track prep was horrible that night, and I could go into details, but it doesn't pay. I wanted a second chance to fix that, and I never got that. And but yeah, that's the problem when you get to that big money with the streaming services, is because it allows people. And I circle back to the point where too many people are making money and they don't have to work so hard no more, because it used to be the series has had to bring something. Like, a series had to have something to sell the promoter, right? If you want to charge me $65,000, what are you bringing? Because I've got to pay that guy no matter. If I have 10 people in the stands, he still wants a check. And so I just think the streaming services has made the traveling series is a little more safer. The promoters have more of a risk now than ever, because now the series has come in, still sending you a bill, but they're going to demand that Dirt Vision be here because that's how they're making their money, and you've got to fill your stands on your own. And that is a tough deal, guys. It's a double-edged sword again, because we've had some great Dirt Vision races with the Hell Tour, and I know people have come because they've seen those races, but I bet you it don't pencil out on paper.
Yeah, the streaming thing, it's I mean, I can see both sides of it. It's nice from a fan side, where if you get a weekend like this, say you do end up racing on Saturday, where, you know, fans are like, well, I don't know if I want to go out there with the weather. I can watch it on the cushion. But
I promise you that happened. You're exactly right. You guys remember this? Remember when the Browns weren't sold out? It was blacked out in the area.
Yeah.
So go back to those days, right? So if you're going to watch the cushion, let's just say we use the cushion, we're going to black out 50-mile radius of Wayne County Speedway. It's going to be televised on, if you're a subscriber, but we're going to black out 50-mile radius. Now, that might be, I know it's never going to happen, right? But as a promoter, like, we're supposed to just wave the magical wand and fill our stands. If you talk to any series director, they'll tell you, what's your job? To fill the stands. We're bringing Brandon Shepard and this guy and that guy. Well, great, but you know, back in the day, you guys would. You remember the days when the traveling series came to town and they would be at an auto parts store or a car dealership with their cars on display leading up to the big show at the racetrack, local show.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't see that no more, do you?
No. Well, and
No,
their
you don't see
schedules
that
are,
anymore.
those schedules they have are pretty packed now anymore, where they almost don't have time for that.
Well, they are, and I'll give you that too. I mean, I'm not saying it's cut and dry.
I'm not
but
defending him. I'm just saying that might be one of the reasons.
There is, but I just feel like as an industry, the industry gets split between promoters and racers and series. Is everybody divides themselves when you go to these promoters workshops and things. But the reality of it is, it takes me to own a piece of property that has a racetrack and has a facility. It takes the racer to dedicate and have a car. It takes the series because the series they ain't got it easy either. They got to find talent to go with them to sell a show, but nobody wants to work together anymore. And I'm not saying that it couldn't be back together, but I think times have just changed to where the way business is done is I'm an old handshake guy. We're like, hey, if I tell you we're going to do it, shake your hand, we're doing it. And that isn't true anymore, and I can't live those days. But I just wish there was more cooperation between everybody to make the industry better. And I feel like there's a whole lot of me, and not we.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Maybe things will change.
And
Maybe it'll be a cyclical thing. Maybe we're just in the down cycle and it'll come back. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I'm trying to be optimistic.
I think what Rich is doing with the All-Stars, I was a little optimistic in the beginning because I didn't know if it could be resurrected. But he's done a really good job. He really has. And I think there's room for Aaron too. Aaron's a friend of mine. I think there's room for both. And that's why we scheduled both, because I felt like they both have something to sell. I don't know what the weekly stuff's going to look like, though. I'm really telling you what, on the sprint car side of it, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so, I lost my last year's track champion to the All-Star Tour, even though he'll be here when he can. But you start to get too many series, and then on a regular Saturday night, you look around and you go, man,
well,
everybody's running.
Past shows we've talked about.
Yeah, I was going to say that's something we've talked about, especially with the Ironman series taking late model drivers.
Spreading the top of the class too thin.
Yeah, so they'll defend that. So the series will defend it and say, well, it gives your other guys a chance if you're taking your big guy out. Well, yes and no. Yes, it does do that. And I'll be the first to say, you water down the program. Now we're back to fighting because the fans are going, well, I'm not going there because so-and-so ain't there. It's just, it's a necessary evil, but let's just talk about the thrill shows. That is why you see, and asphalt track promoters, I think, are better promoters than dirt race promoters. I will tell you that. But they can race. It can rain like the dickens on Saturday morning, and they can go out, and the chances are, probably, if the sun comes out, it'll dry very fast. And they have an opportunity that we don't. We're stuck with mud. And yes, we can work hard to get mud dry, but the facility's wet, and you know what I mean? It's like nobody wants to play in the mud, right? They're to just go do something else. So I look at asphalt promoters as,
how do you roll the pits in?
Our pits are full of grindings. So I had a guy on a dozer here 2 weeks ago. He comes in with a laser on that thing, and so I'm a dozer operator, but this guy's he's a real operator. I guess I can run it, he can operate it. How's that? And so he's got it graded. The water sheds pretty well here. We're lucky enough to have some fall for our pits, and our parking lot's the worst. So it's all grass. Most racetracks have grass parking lot. We did add some drainage in the fall, but when it rains hard, listen, it's just, I love it when it's raining at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning and you're already washed out and the sun comes out at 6 and somebody gets on Facebook. I told them they're going to race.
Yeah. Never heard that before.
Yeah.
But I always tell myself oh, Jason, just shut your mouth, because they don't realize that I only get a chance to make money this many times a year. I don't want to cancel it. But they're just passionate like me. They're just disappointed because they want to go to the race.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, listen, I think the sport's pretty healthy. So when I go to Florida for Speed Week, you look at the crowds, and I know some of that's fake because a lot of people are snowbirds down there catching a race. But I've been down to Florida for Speed Weeks when the crowds weren't very good, and it transitioned over to where it wasn't very good season in the North either. So you always look at the interest of what people are doing, and look pretty healthy this year. NASCAR's doing some stuff. NASCAR's a big part of what we do, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not a big fan because I was a Gordon fan, but when they're doing stuff and their grandstands is getting better, that's drawing people more interested in motorsports. So we can't say NASCAR's horrible because we need everybody. We need Sandusky. I need Barberton. I need, Midville's close to me. We all are looking for people. And so I'm never down on any kind of motorsports drag strip in Wayne County on the other end of the county. I talk to him quite a bit. Same deal. He's looking for the same thing we are, people, right? Everybody wants people. So But I'm working hard. I know everybody is, but if I ever find out the secret how to get kids involved in racing, I'll send you a text.
We appreciate that.
Sounds good. We need to get going here because we got I want to eat really, but
Okay.
how can what's the best way for fans and racers to keep up to date on things? Facebook, webpage.
Yeah, so social media is the key anymore, right? So WayneCountySpeedway.com, we've got a new website. It's pretty easy to navigate, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. I don't know. I have a staff that does that. I'm not. You won't find me posting very many things because I have people that know how to do it way better than me. But we try to be up to date. We really do. I'm more of a Facebook Live guy. Like, I like to go on and you know me. I can talk. Obviously, you can't shut me up, but yeah, so we try to get into things. We try to show what we're doing here. We did a lot of projects, and I was really into making reels. I think the reels are pretty cool. I think all of us have sat down at night, watched reels on your phone, and be like, wow, I got to get off this stupid thing. So we've been trying to make more of those.
So, all right. So when can we expect a final determination for Saturday's opener?
Tomorrow in early afternoon, we'll evaluate what's going on. But, we don't want people to drive a long ways with the wipers on. Not this early, but yeah. We're optimistic. Listen, it's our 60th year. We're excited. I mean, and sit here and tell you that I want to rain out, no, but I'm also a realist. But yeah, 60th year. I mean, I can't believe it. I was here for the 50th, and I thought that was cool. And then I never thought I'd see the 60th just because, where are you going to be in 10 years? You don't know. But I'm real excited to be part of this. And, there's a lot of things scheduled for this year. We talked about the schedule, but we have a birthday celebration, I think, in July. And we're going to try to bring a lot of the people who used to race here that are still around the area. We're going to try to get them together for like a reunion and just have fun with it. And just, listen, I can tell you all the time, if you don't remember where you came from, you'll never be able to go anywhere. You got to respect and honor the past to see where you can go. That's it.
All right. Jason Flory, good luck this year at Wayne County Speedway. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on things and reporting on things as well. So keep in touch with us, man.
Well, you haven't been here since the 70s, so I'll put you on the press list, and you guys can make that trip down here, and you can try the cheeseburgers and root beer floats, and you can hang out with me, and that should be enough to get you here.
I prefer the hot dogs, and you said those are good.
All right, well, listen. Yeah, listen, whatever your pleasure is, we can take care of you. But no, it'd be great if you could. But listen, I always appreciate the time to promote and a great opportunity. So you guys do a good job on your show and appreciate the invite.
All right, man. Thanks. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Jason, thanks a lot.
Have a good day.
We'll see you.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go. Jason Flory, promoter, owner of Wayne County Speedway in Orville.
A lot of insight into the mind of a racetrack.
Yeah, I know. It took a little detour there. You never know. It's like what Jerry used to say, Jerry Keyser. Show's organic. Yeah, just kind of go where it goes. It's all good. Scott. Yeah, definitely.
A lot of insight.
Yeah, and opposite directions. One over in Indiana, Montpelier Speedway there, and Orville over on the Cleveland side of Ohio. So, very cool. Before we get to, we got news coming up here, and we're going to give away the Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker courtesy of DCR Graphics. Let's do that. That'll be coming up for how many? I'd change the cameras just for people listening on the audio. They may not know why I said let's do that. So we'll be giving away one of these guys very shortly, so stay tuned for that. And, first I got to mention the 2025 Oakshade Raceway 50th season schedule is out. The season kicks off on Saturday, April 26th with the DCR Graphics Sportsman, Dominator Superstocks, and Compacts. And then full shows of late model Sportsman, Superstocks, and Compacts starts May 3rd, running weekly through August. Big races this year at Oakshade, Barney Oldfield race Saturday, June 14th. And, of course, the annual birthday race featuring the UMP Dirt Car. Summer Nationals, American Late Model Ironman Series event on Saturday, July 12th, the penultimate event of the Summer Nationals, as they have the finale, as Jason mentioned, at Wayne County on Sunday, July 13th. You can stay in the loop with all the high-octane action. Visit OakshadeRaceway.com. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest updates. Oakshade Raceway. We're the fastest. Meet
to race.
To race. Thank you. Thank you for finishing that for me. Got some racing news to get to here.
Latest racing news.
So Christopher Bell, he's going to be celebrating Throwback Weekend at Darlington by honoring his racing mentor, Rick Ferkel.
Ooh.
Yeah, with a pair of throwback schemes designed to replicate the Ohio Traveler's most recognizable car designs. Bell will pilot the number 19 Sport Clips Toyota GR Supra and Saturday Sport Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200 NASCAR Xfinity Series race. My, that's a mouthful. Yeah. Before sporting a vintage Ferkel sprint car look on his number 20 DeWalt Toyota Camry for Sunday's NASCAR Cup race at Darlington there. Bell credits Ferkel for introducing him to the sprint car racing world. Bell continued his climb up the ranks. As he continued his climb up the ranks, he continued to rely on Ferkel's guidance along the way. Ferkel was also an original member of the World of Outlaws. Ferkel passed away on January 1st of 2024 at the age of 84. Bell honors Ferkel regularly with a special decal on the dash of his number 20 car every weekend. Both of Bell's Darlington car designs will feature a silver greenhouse area to mimic the look and feel of a sprint car wing. Rick's name will ride above the name rail, and each car will emphasize the number 0 in honor.
I was thinking
of the
number
man.
20, maybe a small 2 and a big 0.
Yeah. So, looking forward. I haven't seen what it looks like yet, but it sounds pretty cool. Tony Stewart, Curb Agajari, his racing team, and 10-time World of Outlaw champion Donnie Schatz are going to stop running Ford engines in the familiar number 15 starting last weekend, actually.
Honda?
I'm not sure. It didn't say what they are going back to.
Honda is coming to sprint car racing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I remember when we broke the story years ago when we first started the show about Ford developing an engine for Stewart and his sprint car team here. But the team has raced the Ford Power for the last 9 seasons, issued a statement on social media on Friday afternoon. For more than 9 years, TSR has worked collaboratively with Ford Performance and Shaver Specialty Racing Engines on the development of the FPS 410 engine, the statement said. While that development will continue, TSR will take a step back from running Ford engines during points-paying races beginning at Lawton Speedway last weekend. They're extremely proud of and grateful to the respective teams at Ford Performance and Shaver Engines for their support over the last decade. Schatz is currently 6th in World of Outlaws standings with only one top 5 finish over the first 12 races of the season. Did you hear about Johnny Gibson, the voice of the World of Outlaws?
No.
Last Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. He's announced at 2,357 consecutive races. That streak came to an end at 81 Speedway this past Saturday night. He was admitted for observation to Wichita Hospital Saturday morning for a heart issue. He was discharged on Sunday. I think it was AFib or something, from what I remember reading. So hopefully everything's okay for him. Hopefully he'll be back. Not this weekend, though, because I believe the World of Outlaws have already scrapped
pulled the plug.
their weekend plans. Steve Phelps has been appointed the first commissioner of NASCAR. This newly created role will see Phelps oversee all aspects of NASCAR's business interests, including the International Motorsports Association and all 15 NASCAR-owned and operated tracks. Additionally, Steve O'Donnell, longtime industry leader and current chief operating officer, will succeed Phelps in the critical role of NASCAR president with day-to-day leadership of all 3 NASCAR series, national series, I should say, and all NASCAR commercial media and track operations, as well as its 4 international series and multiple and grassroots properties. Both roles are effective immediately and will be based in Daytona, Florida.
Okay.
So some restructuring in the upper echelon of NASCAR there. Eric Jones and the number 43 Legacy Motor Club team have been disqualified from this past Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville. During post-race inspection, NASCAR found Jones's number 43 Toyota to be too light as it failed to meet the minimum weight requirement. That's something you don't hear very often.
No.
It's like going across the scales after a dirt late model race and coming up light or something. Jones, who initially finished 24th, was disqualified and negated to 38th in the running order. The veteran driver has yet to score a top 10 finish this season.
Ooh.
More penalties from this weekend at Martinsville. We mentioned the poor finish, I guess. I'm not sure what the best adjective to use for the Xfinity Series finish there. NASCAR officials penalized Xfinity Series driver Sammy Smith on Tuesday afternoon for his role in the much-publicized final lap accident during Saturday's Xfinity race at Martinsville Speedway. Smith was docked 50 points and fined $25,000, but he was not suspended. Smith ran his JR Motorsports Chevrolet into the back bumper of Taylor Gray's Toyota, entering turn 3 on the final lap. They were running first and second.
Right.
The contact caused Gray to spin, creating a multi-car accident. Quite a few cars were caught up in that as Austin Hill scooted past for the victory. Gray and fellow driver Jeb Burton, who also got caught up in that accident, were each fined $5,000 for behavioral penalties that occurred inside the infield care center. I'm not sure. I wish I had more information on that, but the penalty for Smith dropped him from 6th to 13th in the Xfinity Series standings.
Ooh.
So
That's a biggie.
Yeah. Amazon Prime will be the presenting sponsor of Kyle Larson's attempt at the 109th Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600.
Oh,
so they're sponsoring both his cars, yes, the Indy car and the Cup car.
Hopefully there's not a rain issue this year and he can get both shows in.
They're also producing a movie about the monumental 2-year quest. For the second straight year, Larson, of course, will attempt to take on the 1,100 miles of racing, dubbed the hashtag Hendrick 1100, presented by Prime Video. Starting with the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500 in Indianapolis Motor Speedway and concluding with NASCAR's longest event, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. The Memorial Day weekend effort will feature Prime Video branding on both of Larson's race cars. In addition to that sponsorship, there will be that full-length documentary chronicling Larson's quest for racing in both those. That might be kind of interesting to see. And finally, the Pels Tire Service 410 sprint cars at Butler Motor Speedway this year will now race for $2,000 to win during all regular weekly shows in 2025. They just announced that this week.
Pretty cool.
Bump and pay for the 410 winners, the feature winners there. If you're planning your dream wedding or special event, make it unforgettable with Magic Moment Entertainment. Mention Hammer Down Racing Report when you book, and you'll get $100 off your reception DJ service. With over 30 years of experience, Rombert will make sure your event is just perfect. Magic Moment handles everything from contracts to full liability insurance, giving you peace of mind. Plus, no hidden fees, no charges for mileage or dance floor lighting ever. Serving Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky, Magic Moment specializes in wedding receptions, but they also excel in corporate events and mitzvahs. Magic Moment takes pride in working closely with couples and clients to create magical moments tailored just for you. Call 419-594-2261 or find Magic Moment Entertainment on Facebook under Magic Moment Entertainment or Ohio Sports Blitz. And finally, Ron Miller Race Cars, your one-stop racing headquarters located in Lambertville, Michigan. Ron Miller Race Cars has everything you need to keep your racing dreams or nightmares on track. From custom race cars to parts, safety, equipment, service, and even American racer tires. If it's for racing, Ron has it or you can get it. Give him a call today at 734-856-7223 and let Ron help you gear up for victory. Ryan Miller Race Cars, fueling racers one lap at a time. Yeah. No Hammer Down Hotline playback this week.
Oh.
I know you're disappointed.
I am.
That's always your favorite thing. But if you do want to call, leave a message, something you want us to talk about next week on the show, do it anytime. 419-318-3081. That's
call
or text. Yes. So there you go. And moving right into our How Many and a chance to win that Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker. Let's do that.
How many?
So last week's question was how many 410s plus late models plus 305s? Basically, how many total cars were going to be at Attica that last weekend. And we opened that up so that if they got rained out Saturday and they used their race.
Friday, they ran Saturday.
Yes. So so it counted. And they had 80 cars, 26 410s, 23 late models, and 31 of the 305. So if my math is correct, that equals 80.
Right.
You said 86.
I did.
I said 73.
I win.
Jimmy McCune, who was here last week, said 76. He wins.
Okay.
But you won.
He's got a guess.
Yeah, you're still closer than me. So congratulations, Ron. There, our listener winner, Mason Luttrell.
Ooh.
He was right on the money there.
Really?
He guessed 80. So congratulations, Mason Luttrell. You have yourself a Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker courtesy of DCR Graphics. You can slap that on your car. Tag us in a photo on Facebook, and you'll be part of the Hammer Down Army. We'll report on your finishes. And if you didn't win, you can always just get one of these from DCR Graphics directly. Find him on Facebook, DCR Graphics, and send him a message. He'll shoot one out in the mail to you, drop one off at a racetrack. Just $5 for that. So congratulations, Mason Luttrell, this week's winner. So for next week's How Many? This one could be easy.
Okay.
Especially after talking to Ryan Sutter earlier tonight, because we were talking Montpelier Speedway for this week's How Many. I forgot to type it in there, so you're going to have to listen to me here. It's pretty easy. It's a math question.
Ooh.
Not that it's going to matter, but it's a math question. How many mods plus how many super stocks will be racing at Montpelier on this Saturday night?
Ooh.
You get to pick first.
0.
I'm going with 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You got 0. I got 1. So if
the
you want...
Hammer Down meteorologist in me says, yeah, I'm not optimistic.
Go ahead and put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live.
But crazy things can happen.
And Dave mentioned
Switch to
Tony
Chevy.
Stewart when they switched from Ford to Chevy. So I see the zeros piling in there, which may be good. We may have a big wheel to spin next week. Terry Goad's optimistic, though. Way to go, Terry. 56 is his guess. But yeah, put your guess in the comments of the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live. You could also wait to guess until Saturday. We'll say Saturday at noon.
Noon Saturday.
So he may make a decision tomorrow. So if you want to wait to guess, that might be the smart play, because you can still guess up until noon on Saturday. But
and you can put your guess.
Once you put your guess in, though, you're locked in. You can't change it. You can't guess again or anything. So
and if you edit it,
yeah,
black flag.
You get black flag. We got that over there. So there you go. 0 seems to be a pretty good bet. We may have a large wheel to spin to determine the winner next week. I'm going to be typing in a lot of names. I'm going to have to start the show or start preparing for the show early. I'm going to be getting here at 6 next week. Let's take a look at, I guess what's scheduled for this weekend. Your DCR Graphics racing.
This weekend's racing menu.
Well, already, as we mentioned earlier, I think we did, Attica Raceway Park pulled the plug for tomorrow night due to the track being flooded due to the heavy rains that came through the area last night, and then more expected this weekend, especially on Saturday. So Saturday was their rain date for Friday's action, so they've just pulled the plug on the entire weekend. So the Erie Blacktop Smith Paving Night has been canceled due to the flooding. As of right now, still a go. Both of our promoters we talked to tonight, not real optimistic about things, though, on Saturday. Montpelier Speedway, the season opener, scheduled to go with UMP Modified Street Stocks, Hornets, and Super Stocks. Gates open at 4, racing at 7 p.m. with general admission just $12 out there. It's pretty good.
That's a pretty good deal.
Also Saturday, of course, Wayne County with their 60th year anniversary opening night. Sprints, 410 sprint. It's funny. I cut off the 4. It just says 10 sprints.
Oh, well, okay.
410 sprints, UMP late models, UMP modified, super stocks, and mini stocks out at Wayne County. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:45. General admission is $20. So keep an eye on their Facebook if you're planning to go to either of those tracks. The weather may change the plans, so look tomorrow afternoon, I think, is when they're going to make some calls. Do you have a weekend weather pit stop?
It's looking like rain. I can't be any more. It's going to rain.
All right, good enough. Drive away now.
Yeah. No, we have to do our trivia question.
I know. I'm just saying,
okay.
drive away with your weather thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gone. You went over that way. First, we have some other series action, though, to get to here. Racing in Australia, continuing. The Murray Bridge Speedway will be in action Friday with Mod Lights. The Mod Lights Australian title featuring Mod Lights and junior sedans. Two shows this weekend, actually, running Friday and Saturday. Saturday night, it's the SA Club show featuring sprint cars and wingless sprints. Both those at Murray Bridge Speedway. Perth Motorplex, Friday night, the ODH Mechanical SSA Street Stock Western Australia title featuring street stocks and wingless sprints. And that continues Saturday with street stocks and limited sprint cars there at Perth. Some canceled action. The Kubota High Limit Sprint cars are supposed to be at Route 66 Motor Speedway in Texas on Friday, and Dodge City Raceway in Kansas on Saturday.
That's another nope.
Both have been canceled. No foreseeable return dates available on the Kubota High Limit racing calendar in 2025, so they will not be rescheduled. World of Outlaws, NAS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, the Jason Johnson Classic at Arrowhead Speedway in Oklahoma. Both Friday and Saturday nights of that has been postponed until Saturday, October 25th.
That's a ways down the road.
Yes. So, yeah. Valvoline American Late Model Ironman Series, World of Outlaws event at Atomic Speedway. That has been canceled as well due to the weather. It was supposed to be Friday and Saturday night at Atomic. Series and track staff are working together to find a viable date to reschedule the event, and more information will be released soon. Some other series. The NASCAR Xfinity Series action, that has not been rained out. Sport Clips Haircuts VFW Help a Hero 200 at Darlington Raceway. Hopefully the weather's going to be better down there. That's scheduled for Saturday at 3:30 p.m. on the CW. And then the Cup Series race at Darlington, the Goodyear 400, that is scheduled for 3 p.m. on FS1 on Sunday afternoon. And that's about it. We do have our preview for the Oakshade Raceway 50th Anniversary Trivia question for next week. So keep an eye on our Facebook page, the Hammer Down Racing Report Facebook page, because you can put your answers in the comments of that post, which I'll do either Monday or Tuesday. But the question will be, and those of you that listen to the show will have some time to do a little legwork before I post that, because you probably will. Who were the first... And we're still debating whether it's was or were. Who was the first father and daughter to win? Who were the first father and daughter to win? The first father and daughter to win at Oakshade on the same night. That is the question. The names of the first daughter and father to win on the same night at Oakshade Raceway.
With bonus points.
Bonus. You get a bonus entry onto the wheel if you can also name the year that this happened. You don't have to name the date, but the year that this happened. I'll give you a hint. It was not in 2024. It was before that.
Gretchen says we're.
Thank you, Gretchen. That's what I thought. That's what I had. Who were the first father and daughter to win at Oakshade? There you go. So keep an eye out for that post next week, and do your homework now. It was published in an article. Was that Mid-American that you showed me that clip?
I think that may have been a newspaper. Yeah, you had a picture of it.
I had a picture of it, but it looked like it could have been a Mid-American article.
It may be a Wasion paper, too.
Really? So should I show everybody the answer?
Oh, no.
Well, it does look like a regular paper. Huh.
I think it was a Wasion newspaper.
It's in the highlighted section. That's under my finger. All right. There you go. Good luck. Thanks to producer Dave Cameron, contributors John Young, Bob Stazak, Ron Burt, Matt Swander. They all chime in with things.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on X at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube, listen to us on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can always check us out at hammerdownracingreport.com. Don't forget to visit hammerdownracingreport.com and fill out. There's a link to a form that you can fill out to get your name on the hood of a late model. Dale Cole Jr.'s late model. He's got the Hammer Down Racing Report logo on the hood there. So, and it's your personal name, not your business name. If you want your business name on there, get a hold of Dale and
You'll
work out. Yeah, he'll work that out for you. Rate and review us. Share us with your friends. Thanks to our sponsors, Oakshade Raceway. Make sure to support these guys. They support us. Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Magic Moment Entertainment, Victory Fuel, Dipman Motorsports, Dominator Race Products, DCR Graphics. Thanks to our guests this week, both Jason Flory and Ryan Sutter. Next, some of my typos in here make me laugh. I have thanks to this week's guests. Guess.
Okay.
It's missing the T. Next week, we're going to be talking with Beth Cogley again from Millstream Speedway. Get a preview of what's going on out there this year. And Dwayne Hancock. He's going to be joining us.
Oh, boy.
Just added to the show. He's got some big AFCS news.
Ooh.
Attica Fremont Championship Series sprint car action stuff. So always a pleasure to talk to Dwayne. Looking forward to that next week on the show. That's it. We'll see you next Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's a wrap on show number 373 of the Hammer Down
Racing Report.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.